I spill my drink.
Hello one and all, Mickey here, Surviving RNG, and in this video I'm going to answer a very important question which is going to be relevant for my next series, seeing as Thief, Gold, Expert plus Bronze Man is coming to an end. What is Deus Ex Revision? Because I know there are going to be a lot of questions and I don't want the first episode to be an hour long trying to get through all the settings, explaining what everything is. So firstly, Deus Ex is a first-person action RPG which I believe falls under the really confusing genre name of Immersive Sim, which ever since I found out that's what they're called, I've always gotten the impression that Immersive Sim sounds like Arma or Operation Flashpoint or something like that. But yes, Deus Ex was released about a decade and a half ago and is considered by many to be one of the best games of all time, of which I wholeheartedly agree. Unfortunately though, it's not really much of a looker, and like System Shock and Thief, it didn't look good when it first came out, much less all these years later. So I figured if I'm going to be doing a realistic Iron Man run of the game, I might as well install some mods. And then I came across Revision. Deus Ex Revision is a mod pack of sorts. It can be found on Steam, it is completely free, but you have to own Deus Ex to obviously download it. At a glance, what the game does is improve upon the graphics, but oh boy does it do a lot more than that. Not simply just the models and the textures, but also a lot of the levels have been redesigned to actually make them look a bit more, let's say, populated with stuff. Most of the quite open Deus Ex levels were really barren, and although I'm not particularly a fan of the other end of the scale of the spectrum, where games like the modern Deus Exes makes everybody look like chronic hoarders, but still a good middle ground that this mod adds is very nice. And in case you're wondering, this is what the original Deus Ex looked like. As you can see, pretty barren.
Fascist. Stay out of their field of view. Walk slowly to stay quiet.
Get the TNT out of dead. Wow.
Get your hands.
And this is what Deus Ex Revision looks like. A lot more kind of filled in. Hey guys, don't mind me.
Remember the Academy stealth course.
Really bad
Stay
idea.
out of their field of view.
This guy wasn't just a grunt. What's going on?
So instead of going through the Deus Ex Revision wiki and listing off all the changes, how about we just go through the options and see what we can actually pick and choose what we'd like in our campaign. Firstly, there are challenges. You can attempt to do each area or the entire game using no augmentations, no guns, no skills, non-lethal, on-site procurement, and it shows the difficulty. And as I said, it keeps track of each area. And speaking of keeping track, stats are now tracked as well. So as you encounter different enemies and kill them, it will keep track of how many you've killed, which I thought is a very nice addition. Dogs killed, no more canine casualties. Then into settings. And firstly, keyboard mouse. Certain weapons now have alternate fire modes. The drop key can be used to throw melee weapons to pretty deadly effect. And make noise. Now you can make JC call out and grab the attention of any nearby guards, which opens up a lot of tactical options. A very nice touch that added. And then controls. Oh guys, there is a lot of additions here, so we're going to go through all of them. Consider this a preview of Deus Ex Revision before the main campaign starts. So in controls, item refusal. Here you can choose what items you don't want to be allowed to be used or picked up. All the items in the game are here. If you think they're overpowered or they're boring or they just clutter your inventory, feel free, grab them, turn them off, for example. There you go. Again, a very nice touch. Then in game options, you can choose to enable New Game Plus, so when you end the game, it starts you back at the beginning with all of your items, skills and augmentations, and as far as I'm aware, New Game Plus actually adds more enemies as well, so it's not simply start over with all your stuff. You can choose to have weather effects on or off, and then even though we haven't even got through a quarter of all the stuff that they've changed and added in Revision, here we get to gameplay style. Vanilla, normal, shifter, and biomod. Vanilla, of course, is the base game, normal is Revision, and then shifter and biomod. So these two are separate mods that were added and incorporated into Revision. Shifter adds a bunch of stuff by itself, including some cut content from the smuggler's hideout regarding Ford Schick after you save him, as well as adding a bunch of unique weapons to the game that can be found lying about, or by doing certain objectives, or by killing or knocking out certain people. And other things they added was random loot, at least to a degree, new types of ammo, a rate of fire mod, alternate fire modes, these came from Shifter, and changes to augmentations, as well as minor changes to enemy AI. And lastly, Shifter also adds in a new skill reward system where you also gain skills for taking out enemies, and the amount of skill points you get is based on how you take them out. So headshots, non-lethal, that kind of thing. Now my apologies for going to the wiki to actually read that, but I did want to cover everything. And speaking of which, biomod is actually an extension of Shifter. It alters the augmentations you find even further. It adds an autosave feature, we'll get to that in a second. It adds ledge grabbing or mantling. It adds pickpocketing, which I absolutely love. You can pickpocket pickpocket keys or passcodes. So if you want to go for a complete stealth run of the game where you don't even kill anybody, I guess that's almost possible, because you still have to kill that one guy. I can't remember his name. Gary Savage, I think it was. Oh, everybody forgets about him. A lot of the augmentations now only use up bioenergy when they're actually being used. The swimming skill has been replaced with an athletics skill, as well as apparently adding a few new weapons, which, if I'm being completely honest, guys, I'm just reading from the wiki, so don't quote me on that. But as I said, sorry about reading from the wiki, but I want to be thorough. In the playthrough I'll be doing, it will be biomod. The game will be as heavily modded as possible, and biomod is further from the vanilla game, with Shifter being slightly closer towards the original experience, so biomod it is. And then at the bottom of game options, there is biomod Shifter. Originally, biomod removed the XP gain system that was added in Shifter, and now that they've all been incorporated into Revision, you can choose to have the skill system on or off regardless of which mod you're using, which I thought was a very, very nice touch. I know it can make things a bit more overpowered, but I'm doing an Iron Man run anyway, so screw it. I will be having that skill system on. Next up, the HDTP options. Here you can find all of the updated models in the game, which the models at the time were really barely passable. In Revision, they have all been updated, and you can pick and choose which ones you want on. So if you don't like how Anna Navarro looks, the steely-eyed, grey-skinned female cyborg, you can choose to have that off. Moving on to display. Something to note is Deus Ex Revision runs on a higher version of DirectX. I think if I remember correctly, the highest resolution that vanilla Deus Ex would run on was something like 1280 720 or 1600 900, something like that. I do remember it didn't go all the way up to 1080. You can change your field of view, and we'll skip the rest, but I will point out you have UI scaling, because unfortunately old games, the UI scaled with your resolution, so at 1080 the UI would look like this, which with my eyesight, and worse still when you're in the game and the toolbar only takes up like a quarter of the screen down the bottom right, yeah, no thanks. So give me that UI scaling back. Thank you. There is a slight problem with the mouse cursor. The mouse speed seems to be tied with the resolution, so with the menu size increased, you're now moving the mouse cursor at what seems to be the speed at which you're kind of zoomed in, which is kind of annoying, and altering your mouse sensitivity doesn't actually change the speed of the mouse cursor at the menus. But anyway, a small price to pay. In colors, where you can change the color palette of the menus, there are a bunch of new ones added. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I mean, you can see some are vanilla, some are new. Moving on to sound.
I spill my drink.
Yes, you do. And here you will find soundtrack. So in Revision, all of the music has been remade. If you don't like it, put it back to Deus Ex. A very, very nice touch. Likewise with the models, if you don't like it, put it back to vanilla. But I will go with Revision's version of the music. Let's give them a chance. And then an option for Revision itself. Anti-epilepsy. It alters the flickering lights that you can sometimes find in the game. New Game Plus enemies. Additional enemies appear on New Game Plus. Yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory. And this is going to be one of the difficulty modifiers I'm actually considering. I don't know whether to go for a vanilla realistic run, which is the highest difficulty in the game, or a modded realistic plus run. Now bear in mind, this is Iron Man mode. So I will point out what I'm considering as we go through the options, and also again at the end of the video, and let me know in the comments below what you think I should go for. Either vanilla realistic, Iron Man of course, or modded realistic plus, and again Iron Man. I really don't know if I'm going to manage it. I doubt I will. There are going to be a lot of deaths. It happened in System Shock 2. I can imagine there will be more deaths here. But anyway, for now that can stay on. You can change the layout of the keypad to put keycodes into, change the crosshair, which I thought was an option for vanilla Deus Ex. I thought it was. Hall of Mirrors, with this option on, when you start the game, we'll get there in a second as well. You can choose to have all of the enemies in the game look like you, or you can have all of the enemies just have completely randomized appearance. We're not going to have Hall of Mirrors on, but we'll just set it to mirror. You can choose to have the cutscenes on or off. This is handy if you want to do speedruns of the game, which there is a speedrun style option in the game menu. We'll get there in a second. You can choose what gets added to your data vault, just data cubes or everything, including books. I think we'll stick to data cubes. Auto-saving, as I mentioned, has been added to the game. I'm going to say no to that. Animated main menu is off. What would happen if it's on? I don't actually notice any difference. Oh right, I should probably read that. Choose if the main menu is an animated version of the last area you played in. Oh, very nice game. Very, very nice. A nice touch there. Inverted spy drone view. Enlarged weapons belt, which extends your quick bar to 12 slots. Gameplay tips which show in the loading screen. The daytime format for when you're making saves. You can choose to make turrets silent, at least when they're idle. You can choose to have the hum sound augmentations on or off. You can have your speed as a visible indicator. Yeah, we'll have that off. That's fine. And those are the 2 pages of revision settings. Finally, we move on to a new game. And in here, there is a new survival mode. Unfortunately, like with the challenges, you can only do it after completing the game. But I would imagine it's some sort of horde mode. Unlimited enemies, survive as long as you can. Then you've got unique challenges, which I would love to find out what they are. Unfortunately, game, why? Why mod? Why revision? 90% of people playing the revision mod would have played and completed the original game. But I don't know, that's a really odd choice. They won't let you play this without completing the game first. So, story mode, easy, medium, hard, realistic, gonna be realistic, or custom. And modifiers. Interesting. Okay, I really love this. And this is gonna be where my campaign just goes to hell. So say for example, the base difficulty is gonna be realistic. We can choose a bunch of options here. NG drain rate, maximum NG healing rate, max credits, max skill points. Why do you want to limit the amount of credits and skill points you can hold? That's weird. Damage taken, base accuracy. You can modify the AI, choose the amount of enemies that spawn. Oh god. Oh right, yeah, this is the new game plus option. Yeah, this would be one of the options I would consider when it's going to be either vanilla realistic or realistic plus. Again, write in the comments below what you think I should do. I'm kind of worried. In the first level alone, I was kind of ambushed by people that I didn't realize would be there. Get gun tracking, you can turn it on or off. Choose to have whether the AI reacts to the laser of your weapons. Don't really know if I'm a fan of that. I'd probably have it off. Have it so that the AI will shoot explosives that you're near to. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Realistic, Iron Man, and with a bunch of options I'm going to change. Yeah, it's fine. The AI doesn't have to shoot the explosive barrels I'm next to, or I can just avoid standing next to them. And then what I will actually change, especially after playing Thief Expert Plus, is visibility and hearing, increasing it by 75% each. Because after playing Thief, I would no doubt find the AI of this game kind of moronic. So we can at least buff their senses a little bit. Then the damage they take, their accuracy, how much they try to avoid your shots, how much the AI tries to avoid harm. I don't really understand the difference between avoid accuracy and avoid harm. Maybe that's environmental damage, possibly, or explosive barrels, I don't know. Their minimum health, how far away they'll be active, how many times the AI will search for a player before going back to their normal docile state. I would turn this up. Yeah, I would turn this up. There's actually another option we're going to go to that makes it so that when the AI becomes hostile, they stay hostile. Maybe this is a better option, actually. Just double the amount of time that they're in search mode looking for you, instead of just making them stay hostile once they are hostile. Sure, it's more realistic, but yeah, this might be a better option. Then objects, cameras see bodies. You know what? Yes, cameras see bodies. One thing I've noted that I'm guessing couldn't be fixed, but in the original game it was intended that the AI could see bodies and become alerted to them, but they couldn't find time to make that work with the AI, and the game was released without that feature. Now, from what I can tell with revision, that feature still isn't implemented. I can only assume that it couldn't be done, or maybe I'm completely wrong and it simply doesn't apply to the first level of the game, because I have killed and knocked people out and put them on the literal path of other guards walking around, and they completely ignored the bodies. So if cameras can spot bodies, then sure, why not? Camera delay, camera memory, they can just stay on default. Turret range, turret damage, fire rate, rotate speed, again they can stay on normal. Item quantity, the amount of items that spawn in the game, wow. I guess that'll be set to realistic. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then back to player. So one last set of menus to check out, and that is in the modifiers. Oh my god, the modifiers they've added to this game. I wish all games had this. Let's get started, shall we? Trenchcoat mode. Your inventory space is halved. Return damage. Any lethal damage done to the player is returned back. One item inventory. It does exactly what it says. You can only hold one item at a time. No augmentations. Again, pretty clear. Unsatisfactory hardware. You have to play the entire game using only a pistol and an electric prod, and you can't carry any other items. Heavy items. Items don't stack, except for grenades. No items. You can't carry anything. Wow. Achievements. This is actually a nice touch. Steam achievements are added to the game. I'm going to leave them enabled, but I thought that was quite cool. Although then again, I have the Steam UI turned off because I don't want that to be part of recordings. Next page, phantom bots. All bots are cloaked and silent. Armored enemies. Enemies don't take damage unless they die in one hit. Sudden death. Any damage an enemy deals is instant death, even on easy mode. Wow. Small items. All items and weapons that take up one inventory slot. Cloaked enemies. All enemies are cloaked. Quiet enemies. Enemies don't talk when they hear or detect you. Robots don't make idle noises, and removes footstep sounds. Wow. Loud weapons. The AI can hear gunshots further away. Clean streets. All weapons and ammo on the ground has been removed. All combat crates lose their contents. Oh my god. So you only get weapons and ammo from killing enemies. Crazed turrets. Turrets will attack you immediately. Short circuit. When using augmentations, the player takes damage. Oh nice. Hall of mirrors. Here's that option. When enabled, makes all humans look like JC, or with the randomize option on, it makes all humans just appear completely random. Suicidal agents. All men in black just run at you instead of using their weapons and explode. Explosive extinguishers. When enabled, all extinguishers blow up when destroyed. Now I've tried this and I couldn't get it to work. Pistol, sniper rifle, crossbow, melee weapons, I couldn't deal damage to extinguishers, unless the thing that makes extinguishers explode is explosives, in which case that kind of defeats the purpose of it. But I'd have liked to have it, because it's another option in gaining access to areas. If you find an extinguisher, it actually gives it extra use, besides being like a lesser pepper spray. Fatal cameras, any camera that activates the alarm will make you explode. Aviation mode, all enemies can fly. Tried that one, that's actually quite funny, although it makes them walk really slanted, but still very funny. Zombie mode, all living enemies will run into you and detonate, and enemies have unique properties. Disables all achievements and medbot healing. You know, I was actually looking for a modifier that removes medbot healing and engineer bot energy refill thing, but I'm surprised there's no modifier for that. I was actually thinking for the run I wouldn't use medbots to heal or engineer bots to refill energy like I did with the medbeds in System Shock 2, just not allow myself to use them. Next page, World's Most Wanted. All characters in the game, as long as they are not immortal, will try to kill you. Nice. Forceful repossession, you can only hold one item at a time, and whenever you kill somebody, you instantly gain their weapon. Random crate contents is pretty much exactly what it says. You can get pretty much anything from crates. Instant cameras, they activate the alarm the moment they see you. Invisible lasers, again pretty obvious. Silent lasers, they don't make a humming noise. Invisible items, all pre-placed items are invisible until picked up. Wow. Randomized weight, when enabled, characters will have varying degrees of weight, picked at random. Now I've tried this and I don't actually understand it, so sorry. Randomized augmentations, all augmentation canisters will have randomized augmentations inside. This can include 2 of the same. Wow. Healing enemies, all NPCs have the regeneration augmentation and heal every second. No saving. Now this isn't actually Iron Man, not directly, even though it might sound like it at a glance. With this on, you can't save or quick save, which is great and everything, but it doesn't save when you exit the game. So this is only actually good if you intend to do a playthrough all in one go, which there is an option for that further down. You'll see it's actually quite a cool idea. High nerves, when enemies get alerted, they don't forget they saw you. Now this was the other option I was thinking of for a realistic modded plus version of Iron Man, where the choice would be either enemies look for you for twice as long, or they stay on alert. You know what, let me know in the comments below what you think, and let me know that if you want me to go for a realistic plus modded, where the enemy should stay on alert or have double their alert time. Then lethal lasers, all laser beams are replaced with gold ones that instantly kill, although it says instantly kill you. I wonder if that applies to the enemy, probably not. Multi-missile mayhem, enemies can fire multiple rockets per second. It says they can, does that mean they do? Do they all have multi-missile launchers? Lousy magazines. If you reload before you use up all of your ammo, the rest of the ammo is lost. Ugh. Stay away. Being close to hostile enemies damages you. Ninja mode. When enabled, you start with both cloaks, both leg augmentations, and you can only use low-tech weapons, so basically melee weapons. Then, 24-hour game. Now this goes kind of hand in hand with no saves. With this on, you have 24 hours in real time to finish a game. And by real time, I mean the time keeps ticking even with the game closed. So that's an interesting idea. If ever I do a charity stream, this might be it. Then penetrating explosives. Explosive damage travels through walls. Collectibles mode. I will probably have this on because I do like the idea of it. It adds 75 collectibles to the game, and each one you pick up gives you a tiny increase of like 2 health or 2 energy or something like that. So yeah, I kind of like that. That'll be probably part of the run, the campaign. I am the law. All weapons have been replaced with laws. For anybody that hasn't played, this is a single-use massive rocket launcher. Something similar to the Redeemer out of Unreal Tournament. Then Omnivision, all enemies can see all around them. Matrix mode, looking away from someone replaces them with an enemy agent. I tried this, it's actually quite funny. This and another option that we'll go to in a second. No jumping, except when coming out of water. That'd be an interesting run. Manhunt mode, this basically always spawns in Secret Service agents. So for all intents and purposes, wherever you go, enemies will be spawning in. Quite slowly, but obviously permanently spawning in. Teleporting enemies, when you lose sight of an active enemy, they teleport behind you. Real-time UI, yes please. God, I love this and I wish it was an option in all games. When you're in your inventory or your skills menu or whatever, the game will carry on regardless. So no more jumping between a bunch of enemies, switching weapons, healing, activating augmentations, then coming out of the menu while everything was paused, then killing them all. Yeah, that won't fly anymore. System malfunction, anytime a human NPC is knocked out or killed, they explode. Silent takedowns, all weapons have been replaced with get guns. That's kind of a variation of I Am the Law, where all weapons are replaced with the laws. Plasma donating, all weapons have been replaced with the single-use PS20s. Basically, they fire a single shot of the plasma rifle. And that is finally it. So guys, as I said, let me know in the comments below whether you think I should do a vanilla realistic Iron Man run of Deus Ex Revision using Biomod, or do a modded realistic plus Iron Man run of Deus Ex Revision with the Biomod on. And the realistic plus version will have the number of enemies increased to New Game Plus. It'll increase their hearing and sight by 75%. It'll increase the amount of time they search for you after they become alerted inverted by double or infinite, your choice. It'll make it so cameras can see bodies. And lastly, it will have real-time UI. So whenever I'm in my inventory or skills menu, the game won't be paused. So I'm gonna have to go hide somewhere to shuffle about my inventory, give skills, and eat whatever scraps of food I can find lying around. So guys, that was a list of most of the additions that Revision adds to Deus Ex, with a bit of a preview of what the new Deus Ex Impossible Iron Man series will look like. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let anybody else know if they enjoy it as well. And don't forget to write down in the comments below whether it should be vanilla realistic or modded realistic plus. And thanks for watching, guys, and bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Oh, this is a terrible, terrible idea. Such a bad idea. Yeah, he sees me. Yep. Don't do it. Don't do it. Ooh, okay. So yeah, these guys have a few different attacks. I'd say like 3, maybe 4. One of the attacks are like incredibly comically slow. He heard that. I need to get around this corner. Please don't see me. Don't. Yeah, he sees me. Yep. Don't!